What's going on, gang? So I know that there is a massive mess over here. I am currently moving into a new home that I just bought. So naturally I have to pack everything that I've been prepping. I've packed a lot of it. Almost all of it is gone. The rest that I got are like cans for cooking. These are, what are these? Fuel, little fuel cans, random stuff, you know? But the point of this video is I'm finally going to be showing you guys the Mylar bag process. I got a mixture. I got gamma lids, which are like these, and these are very well sealed. They look like that. So you could get these. These are more expensive, but then I also got regular lids, which are obviously less expensive. Both, I'm pretty sure, are fine because you're also protected without the gamma lid. If you just have the regular lid, you're protected with the Mylar bag on top of the bucket. And these seal very tightly. So it's up to you. It's up to your weather. It's up where you're storing them. All these factors play in. So I got a little bit of both. So today we need a ton of food. I got tons of beans, tons of rice, and I also want to try to Mylar bag dried pastas. I got a bunch of little beans here and little bags of rice, a ton over there, and then I got big bags of rice like these that I want to put in the Mylar bag to make them last for years to come. And then I also got, on top of the Mylar bags, I got different sizes. So I have different sizes for different things depending on what I'm storing. So I would get, these are obviously big ones for my big bags of rice and beans, and then smaller ones for smaller things. And then I got different types of oxygen absorbers. They look like this. Different cc's. Depending on what you are storing, you will need different cc's. See how it says 2,000 cc's? Sorry for my nails. They look terrible because I'm moving and renovating and doing all these things. And these are 50 cc packs, which you can throw in a few, but get different types because you can't use 2,000 cc for everything. So it's good to get smaller ones too, and you can always work your way up if need be, but you can never work your way down. I also have a straightener. This was my high school straightener. I've never straightened my hair since 12 years ago, 10 years ago. But I always kept it because it was expensive when I paid for it and I just couldn't part with it. But I realized it's a great tool because typically to close these you would need an iron and like a piece of wood to iron it shut. But you guys know that I love ghetto rigging everything. You can just, if you have an old flat iron, just flat iron it. I mean, I'm assuming it'll work. We're gonna test this theory today. I've seen YouTubers use a flat iron to do this. It's easier for me than pulling out my ironing board and everything. It's just bada bing, bada boom, I can finish it. So, give me a little minute and then you guys can watch me kind of put things in the Mylar bag. This is my first time doing it and I'm gonna do it on video with you guys to take you through the process. Okay, obviously it's messy, but I just want to show you guys everything that I pretty much bagged up. Now this one has, I think, a 20 or 15 pound of pinto beans on the bottom that you can see there. And then what I did, so I wouldn't mix the beans, is because I got these small ones over the course of how long I've been doing this. And what you do, so you don't mix them, but I put them in the same Mylar bag, is I poked a hole here and a hole here. It's pretty big, so the oxygen absorbers can still get in those smaller bags and don't mix with the other beans. So I did that for an experiment. I have a lot of rice that we're going to be bagging up here. And then this one I believe is all flour. That one's all flour. And then I have these ones over here with a bunch of dried goods, and I like the 1 gallons because it's also good. It's also a good tradable size. So I got some white rice also in the 1 gallon bag. I got lots of dried pastas in there. I got oatmeals. Where is it? Oatmeals in there. Flour, oats, lentils. I love red lentils. And sugar. Sugar does not need, I repeat, sugar does not need an oxygen absorber. Do not put one in there unless you want a brick. So, to get to the next process, I'm going to need to clean this up and kind of sanitize everything again to get to the next process to show you guys how I'm going to be sealing them, the amount of oxygen absorbers I'm going to be putting in them. So as you can see, there's a lot of trash that I'm going to be recycling. I got tons of bags of flour and sugar that I put in there, oatmeal. So I'm gonna dispose of this, clear it up, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I am back over here. I had a little incident. There was a little froggy stuck in the storm window thing, and I had to save its life. So I did that, and now I'm back. I had to wash my hands. Now the things that you are going to need, we're gonna start out with the 1 gallon bags first. When you take out your oxygen absorbers out of the package that you get them in the mail, you need to immediately put them in an airtight jar. I'm using quart jars here, and these are my 50 cc's. I haven't opened my 2000 cc's yet because we're gonna get into that later. And the reason why you want to do this is because if it is open in the air, they won't work anymore, because they will use their oxygen absorbency to absorb the air around you. So I got 50 cc increments. I recommend getting 50 cc's, 100 cc's, 1000 cc's, 2000 cc's. But right now I only have 50 cc's and 2000 cc's. So I'm gonna put in, I want 500 cc's in each bag. So what I'm going to first do is we'll start with the oats. You can use 300 to 500. I'm going to use 5. Make sure it's labeled correctly. You want to leave in a bit of space here and be able to fold it down and seal it. These ones have a Ziploc thing, but I'm going to be using my flat iron. I have that on, and then gonna put in 500 cc's of these. 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Those in there. Tighten this together. I'm going to use the Ziploc right here. And then we're going to take the hot iron and hot iron it. And don't leave it on any one place because you'll burn a hole through the Mylar bag. And then that should be good. It's hot, don't burn yourself. I want to get the corners just in case here. Make everything And then that is your bag of oats. So I'm gonna do a bunch more for you guys so you can kind of see. Okay, so I finally finished. We're gonna check how these look tomorrow, but I put the proper amount. I put 500 cc's, you can put 3 to 5, in my gallon Mylar bags. And something I recommend is if you are using flour, something with a very small surface area, you want to put a little bit more cc's than you would normally because they take up, they're smaller particles. So in the flour, I put actually 4,000 cc in my 5-gallon buckets here. And in my 1 gallon, I put 600 cc instead of 5. So we should see them start to kind of crinkle up. And here I sealed my buckets. So I'm gonna check in with you guys tomorrow. I have my 50 cc. This is producing a lot of heat and actually moisture in there from the heat. And I'm wondering if you guys know if that's normal or not. So I'm gonna check, I'm gonna research that and check back with that later. And then I have the leftover 2000 cc, which produces heat, but so far I don't see moisture. But I think it's because my jars are a little colder and it feels hot, it feels warm to the touch, which is a normal, I know the heat is a normal chemical reaction. Naturally, if the heat is warmer than the jar, it should produce somewhat moisture, but I think it should be okay, so we'll see. I'm gonna check into that for you guys. So tomorrow we're gonna check back in here and see if the oxygen absorbers actually work. So it's the next morning, and as you guys can see, it's much more compacted. It's actually, so the oxygen absorbers took out all the oxygen here, that it's conforming to the shape. In here I have little pasta. I think in here I have more pasta. So it hasn't been a full 24 hours. So some of them, I think all of them are pretty much compressed though. This is red lentils, totally no air in this.